Okay, Be'ezrat Hashem. So we continue now. We're Pasuk Tedvav. Pasuk Tedvav. Okay. After Shlomo Melech addressed and determined and defined who are the four different types of Hattaim, like he calls them, or of the people that have for nature the need, the desire to manipulate, hurt, and abuse society, right? Now he's going to come and address Musar. He's going to now tell us what we need to do about this situation in a more depth. Although he did say Beni im efatucha chataim al tove. So he says you shouldn't go. Do not entertain this pitul. Now he's going to go in a little bit more details about the situation. And he says like this: Beni, my son, al telech bederech itam. Don't go in the path with them. Mena raglecha minetivatam, and behold, hold on your feet from walking on their path. So the Gaon explains, Al telech bederech itam. Don't go in the path with them. So he says, Lo mibaya she'al telech bederech. The derech, there's a difference between derech and a netiv. Between a derech is a path, and a netiv is like a walkway. Derech is more of a direction. Do not go with them in their direction. And netiv is in the little paths, if you will. He says there's a difference between the two. He says the derech hagadol, is almost like their ways, yes, their directions, their ways. He says you should not go. If they tell you to come with them and to follow them, don't follow them. Don't follow them. Don't follow them. Why? Shem dorchim ve'olchim va. He says this is the way, the derech hagadol that they go on is clear in their intentions and in their ways. You could see what they want. So it's obvious that you shouldn't go with them. But not only you shouldn't go with them and entertain anything with them, keep your feet from their path. The path, he says the Gaon, it's the little ways, the little path that get you to the big avenue, to the way. He says, so he explains in depth in a but even if you're on your own, don't emulate, don't copy their ways. Even if their ways are not ways that are directly identifiable as something negative, something bad. Because if you follow their behavior, their ways of life, you will end up on their path with them, getting, and at the end you're going to get hurt. And he says, Al telech, don't go along with them. Don't go with them. The pshat is not only don't go, but תתרחק מן הדברים המביאים לזה. Get away. Go away. Be distant from their own behaviors that get you to that path. That's in the Kitviyat. In Hamzag and Uzah, he explains a little bit more the concept of netiv. He says, like we said, the derech is the big way. The netiv is the little path that man already went on. He explains, he says this is referring to a behavior that we're exposed to, that we look at, and stays with us. And say, wow, you know, this guy is cool, this behavior seems good, it tastes good, the ta'ava, the feeling of being in an environment like this is a good feeling. Or look at the influence this guy has, look how socially accepted he is. And then you're on your own, and it triggers an interest. And you say, you know what, look, maybe this guy is a bad guy, or maybe this behavior is not a great behavior, but I'm not going to be like him. But that action that he did, or that way of talking, or that way of behaving, I can do it on my own without being a bad guy. Says the Gaon, this is what Shlomo HaMelech says. Don't even emulate their behavior. Even if it's only one behavior, a small behavior, the way of talking, one way of thinking, an environment where he is. And obviously we're referring to the 4 types of people. The people that don't have the chutzpah nor to steal nor to kill, right? They are completely selfish and careless of others. If you pick up on their behavior even a little bit, you're going to end up on their path. You end up on their path, you end up associated with them. This is the danger of being exposed to this negativity, because of the fact that you might pick up one thing that they do, thinking that it's okay to do it anyways, and through that behavior, you will end up around them and in their trap. And in the Yalkut, he says the following. He says, Al Tomar, meaning the Gaon says there's a statement, according to Shlomo HaMelech, Shlomo HaMelech tells us, according to the Gaon, there is an inner voice in each and every one of us. He says, "Lo yeh b'mishpat ha'arugim imam, elech imam b'tzavta." I'm in control. I'm not going to go all the way with them. I know where to stop. I'm strong enough. I know how to differentiate the good and the bad. Yeah. So I can mingle with them. I can be around them. Says Shlomo HaMelech, don't say that. אני מזהיר לך שאל תלך אפילו בדרך לבד עמם. Don't get close. He says, even, it's Pele. He says, הזהיר בעוצם חוכמתו אפילו במקום שעברו שם פעם אחד, וגם כעת לא ילכו בדרך שם, אף על פי כן מנע רגליך מנתיבותם. He says, the nature of people, the nature of a person is to be attracted to certain things that seem sweet, that seem cool, that seem socially accepted. And we see it all the time, yeah? Whether it's going with them to a party, to a restaurant, or you see that it's okay to lie a little bit or not to say the truth, and it seems okay. It seems being successful, right? So what does the conscience of the person say? What does the Yetzer Hara says? You're not a Rasha. You're not dumb. You know where to stop. I'll go with them. I'll have a drink, but that's where I stop, right? Or it's okay. I'll do like them up to here, up to a certain level, up to a certain line that I won't cross, and after that, I know how to go back. It says the Shlomo HaMelech, you never go back. He says, "Berov chokhmato." He says, "Hizhiru meod." Shlomo HaMelech is very, very adamant about this nekuda, this point. If you go, you will fail. A person never holds himself back. You know, it's like there's people that say, I'm exaggerating, but they say, I'll go with my friends to the how do you call it, the casino. I'm gonna play a few dollars and that's it. They go, they start playing a few dollars, and then a few dollars, a few $100, and a few hundred, a few $1,000. Next thing you know, they become addicted. Or others, they say, maybe I smoke one joint and that's it. And suddenly they get addicted. We don't realize, we think we're in control, and the Yetzer Hara wants you to feel that you're in control just so that you can engage. Because the moment you engage, the manipulative force of the Yetzer Hara, because let's not forget that the guy a few shiurim ago we addressed how those four different types of people are also referring to tendencies within ourselves, right? Inside the Yetzer Hara, that's within us. The Yetzer Hara works in a way that he wants you to think you're in control, and he wants you to feel you're different. And he's going to use your ego, and he's going to use your self-confidence just so that you can taste. Same thing. How many times I was, people, I was and you hear, I know how to stop myself from women. I know, I know I stop. I know where to stop. And next thing you know, they're involved, and they're sold to it. This is the root of addiction. Basically, Shlomo HaMelech is telling us, human by default gets addicted. Whether he's addicted to food, he's addicted to money, he's addicted to women, he's addicted to drugs, he's addicted to ego, to power, to self. It doesn't matter. Whatever is sweet and soft and feels great, he will get addicted to it. So Shlomo HaMelech tells us, be very, very careful not to even engage or emulate or copy a slight behavior. When you see you fell into something because of the Yetzer Hara, learn about it and make sure you not to relate to that sweetness, not to relate to that comfort zone, because that comfort zone is what will drag you into the pit, into the mistake. Good? That's Pasuk Tedvav. Pasuk Tetzayin. And now he will give the ta'am. He will explain the reasoning behind it. He says, Ki raglehem lara yarutsu. Because their legs run to do bad, to do ra, to the evil. V'imaharu lishpoch dam, and they hurry, they are quick to shed blood, to kill. And obviously the Gaon right away says that Shlomo HaMelech is referring to the two major type of people, that are four that we spoke in the past, in the previous Pesukim, the ones that steal and the ones that kill. So he says, how kiraglehem lara yarutzu, they run, their nature, their legs is their behavior. Their nature is to run to do evil. So how can you fall and get influenced by their words or their sweet tongue when you see their behavior, you see their actions, and you see the directions they take? And if you think, you know what, I'm going to outsmart them, let me be with them, let me take the good from them, you know what, let me take the success side of them, part of them, let it be beneficial for me to make money or success, and then I will disappear, then I will let them and I will go. I'm not going to go all the way with them. He says no, because you think that you'll be able to get out, but they're quicker than you. And when they sense, when the Yetzer Hara or the manipulative people, when they sense you're about to get away from them, they will make sure to kill you, in a sense, right? They will not let you get away with it. It's whether it's the Yetzer Hara that sees that you might be in control, so he will put in front of you something that's so great, that's so good, that's so difficult to overcome, that you're going to fall. And if it's a manipulative person, he will know exactly how to carry you to where he wants. Says the Gaon, do not rely on your shrewdness, on your strength, or on your intellectual qualities to save yourself from negativity once you're in it. So don't go into it and thinking that you will get out whenever you want. That's not true. Here the Gaon, he says, you know why you should protect yourself and not even engage? Because the target is not somebody else. The target is not to go and steal from someone else. The target is you. The Yetzer Hara is for target you. A manipulative person, a crooked person, when he gets close to you, or he speaks nicely to try to, to catch you, you think that he's talking about somebody else and that the target is a third party. No, that's the word that are used. That's the discourse that is being used. But in reality, says the Gaon, in the Kitvei Yad, in reality, the target is you. Is the vulnerability that lives within you. Is the weakness that is being used and abused against you. So says the Gaon Mivilna, once you understand that you are the victim and you are the target, how can you even open yourself to these challenges? It's like when it's like you're amongst people and everybody's laughing and you think that everybody's laughing at someone else, yeah, and they're making fun of somebody and you're laughing and it's so funny, but then you realize that the person that they were mocking and making fun of was actually you. You know that concept. It's like it's the most hurtful feeling, right? How can I was part of something thinking that I have the upper hand at the end, but it was about it. I was the joke. I was the mocked person. Like you feel like less than a zero, that you were actually laughing at yourself and not knowing it. It says this is the Yetzer Hara. This is the intention of an individual that's manipulative, crooked, and negative, bad, that you think you're getting close to it and being in control, but in reality, you're being used. There's nothing more destructive and disappointing than a feeling like this. Says the Gaon, open your eyes and know that this is how you engage with the Yetzer Hara. When you give in, you're starting to laugh. You're starting to enjoy at your own expense. Very, very powerful message from the Gaon. And it's so true. And when you think about it, it's dramatic. The influence, the impact it has emotionally on you when when you think about that, there's no way you can. How can a person let himself dive and drown into mockery and shame, lechatchila, willingly? It's not possible, right? My Rebbe Tzaddik Ukadosh Livracha, Rav Moshe Shapira, he used to tell us, Ushama me'adam gadol, says everybody has a minimum of ego in order to exist, right? There has to be a minimum of kavod in order to exist. And he used to give us what is this minimal kavod? His way of saying it, he said, if you take an individual, anybody, if I take you right now, I say, you know what, I'm going to give you millions of dollars, but I need one thing from you. I'm going to call all your friends, all your family, your grandparents, all your beloved into a room, okay? And I'm going to ask you to undress naked, go under a table with your hands in your back and start eating dirty food that I'm going to put on the floor. And I want you to scream every time that you eat, have, wah, wah, like a dog. Will you do it? Nobody would. Nobody would, right? It doesn't add up. There's no way. You give me whatever. I'm not doing this. This is the line of the kavod that each and every one has to have. Says the Gaon, and I'm you putting in there the fine line of Rav Moshe Shapira. When you understand that they want your blood, the Yetzer Hara wants your blood, this is the line you're crossing. This is the kavod you're crossing by giving in. So there's no way you can cross this. Says the Gaon, says, once you understand that, how can you give in? How can you get close? How can you emulate a behavior that's basically taking away from you the basic kavod that every individual should have to be called a human, to be called an individual, to exist, to progress, to live, to interact in society. That's the level that the Gaon gets to. That's the nekuda is touching. So now the Gaon addresses something beautiful. He says, and that's already in Chemda Genuza. He says, when you look at Mishlei, when you look at Kohelet, at Shir HaShirim, Shlomo HaMelech brings you a behavior of Reshaim, of Hattaim, but he doesn't give the onesh, the punishment of the Torah. He doesn't say, no, if you do this, Hashem will do that to you, right? He goes into the psychological behavior. He goes into the reasoning behind things, right? And it's enough, apparently. Says the Gaon Mivina, why? He says, because Shlomo HaMelech understood that if you know the reason behind something, if you understand the internal wiring and dimension of the root of an issue, it's enough to overcome the behavior and to stop yourself. You don't need the punishment. The punishment is given to the ones that need to hear it because they live on the surface. But if you understand the depths of things, you don't need the punishment. It's enough to control yourself once you understand what's going on. So he says, when Shlomo HaMelech is talking here, first of all, he says, Davar Nifla, Shlomo HaMelech is known for his 3 masterpieces, right? Which is Mishlei, which is Kohelet, and Shir HaShirim. He says, in each book is talking to a different koach. He says, Mishlei is talking to the nefesh ha'ta'avanit, to the desire, to the instinct, to the desire. Okay? The koach ha'mitorer, to the instinct that's inside each and every one. That desire what? Ma'achal u'mashke, that desire the basics of life. Eating, drinking, intimacy, intercourse, the basics. This is Mishlei. He says, Kohelet neged ta'ava hiyunit. He said, Kohelet is talking to the nefesh, the part of the nefesh that desires money, that desires kavod. That's why he says, Hevel avali makol hevel ama Kohelet. He says, that's why Shlomo HaMelech in Kohelet puts back in perspective ego, kavod, money, power. And finally, Shir HaShirim, he says, neged nefesh hamaskelet, the intellect, how to be one with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, how to desire HaKadosh Baruch Hu, how to connect to the Emet. For this reason, says the Gaon, in Kohelet and in Shir HaShirim, Shlomo HaMelech will never talk about the punishments. He will always talk about facts in depth and reasoning to teach you how to really get to the depth of every situation within yourself, understand it. And once you understand it, says the Gaon, there's no way you can let yourself fall and fail. It's just not possible. Unless you have zero kavod of yourself. And then, yes, then you're able to do what Shlomo Rav Moshe said. Then you don't belong to it. Then you belong to the animals. You don't belong to humanity. Back to what Shlomo HaMelech is teaching us. Their legs, right, run to do bad. Now he says, why shouldn't you emulate? Why shouldn't you get close? Because when you think that you can get out, when you think you can stop and go backwards, they will be quick to kill you, right? Says the Gaon, quickly, they are quick to shed blood. He says, קודם שתרגיש דעתם וכוונתם. They analyze, they study constantly your behavior, because you are the target, like we said. So before you even realize what they want from you, they already know that you're getting alerted, and they will press on the red button to eliminate. This is how the Yetzer Hara behaves. Once the behavior understands that you're building resistance, already he has another way to take you down. דבר נפלא מאוד. So first, is to ask ourselves. He says you have to ask yourself a few questions. You see a behavior that the guy is not good. You see that behavior is not good. We see it with others. You see a person that's angry, how it's not good, right? So why pick up on behavior that can get you angry? Jealousy, we know it's not good. Why pick up on a behavior that can get you to become a jealous person? Ta'avot, desires. You see that the desire of women fails people, destroy houses. The same thing with gambling, the same thing with drugs. So why pick up on behavior of being charming or engaging or tasting or playing a little bit when you know that the end result is bad, is ra? How can it be that being and mingling around women can be good? How? Explain to me what good will come out from engaging with ladies and having and charming. It's for business. I need, because she's responsible of the signing the bank account, or she has to approve at the board, or she's the one that's going to sign you the contract, or she's going to convince the owner to sell. Same thing, you know what? It's okay to smoke pot. I mean, no, it's nothing. But this guy, you know, he likes to smoke, and I'm going to smoke with him. I'm going to get close to him. At the end, you know how destroyful it is. So who are you fooling? Says again, few questions ask yourself. How can this be in your benefit? How can, by doing something negative, engaging with something negative can end up being good for you? How? It's not possible, first of all. Second, for what reason can something bad bring you good? How? Logically, you cannot get the good by doing good. You have to do bad in order to get good. It doesn't add up. It doesn't make any sense. So do not come and tell me that by going along with them up to a certain level for my own benefit will end up benefiting you. Never. That's the Yetzer Hara. That's the manipulator driving you closer to them and analyzing you, sweetening the path for you, at the end to use and abuse you. And if you tell me you're quick enough, you should know that because you are the target, like we said earlier, because at the end you are the victim, the moment there is an awakening or an alert on your end, which they expect, they will neutralize you. They will do shchita at the end. Whether it's the Yetzer Hara by putting this most beautiful woman in front of you that attacks you, or this gambling opportunity to knock you down, or that situation to get out a tremendous amount of anger in order to create balagan in your shalom bayit. But that's how it is. So yes, it's true. In the beginning, you see someone reacting and angry, and wow, everybody listens to him, and you say, you see, it works, so it's going to work with me also. And then suddenly, next thing you know, you're using this behavior with friends or at home, or and things collapse in your home. Chas v'shalom. But it started by emulating a behavior that you saw that seemed cool, that seemed working, but it's negative, and you know it's negative. So do not cross that line thinking that there's a way back. And even if there is a way back today, it's part of the Yetzer Hara to even build your confidence even more for the next time. Ki at the end, yimaharu lishpoch dam. The upper hand is never on your side. Like, they say that the house always wins, right? In casino, they say the house always wins. The casino will make you win in the beginning in order to give you treha at the end, to slaughter at the end. It's always like this. Always like this, Rabotai. Always like that's what Shlomo HaMelech is coming to tell us. So, mena raglecha minetivatam. Don't even go on their little path. Do not emulate even a slight behavior from this type of people or from the Yetzer Hara. וימהרו לשפוך דם. טוב, בעזרת השם, we're going to stop here for the. So now we did pasuk tet vav and pasuk tet zayin. I don't fall. I know where to stop. The Gaon is so brilliant. He tells that's the nature of man. We think the Yetzer Hara or the manipulator, you will use our own ego to build ourselves so that we feel confident that we know what we're doing in order to do it and bring us to where he wants in order to bury us. Atzum.
Rabbi, that means we create the tava in us?
I'm sorry?
Meaning we create the tava, right?
So yes, we have, like the Ari HaKadosh in Torah HaNefesh tells us that we have ta'ava kiyumit. There is a ta'ava kiyumit. There is an existence ta'ava. In the ta'ava that we need to have in order to exist. You need to have enough ta'ava to have kids and do kibbutz and do mitzvat peru urvu, right? To proliferate. We need a certain basic ta'ava to eat. If we don't have a ta'ava to eat, we would forget to eat, we would die, right? We need a ta'ava to exist also of kavod, basic kavod to exist and to be able to interact. There are basics, right? So that basic that Hashem gave us in order to exist, we exaggerate, we expand and turn it into a ta'ava that's beyond that, and that's where problems become. When the ta'ava to do the mitzvah of peru urvu becomes a ta'ava with every woman or whatever, or the ta'ava of eating becomes a ta'ava of desires of all types of food, or the ta'ava of ego to exist become a ta'ava of egocentrism and selfishness and self-centeredness. So, yes, you're right. It's going out of proportion from the ta'ava that was given to us to exist and survive and serve Hashem, and expand it beyond. And that expansion, absolutely, that's what the Gaon is talking about, that becomes vulnerability and destruction. By the way, not of only others, essentially self-destruction. That's the biggest chidush here, is that when you think you're laughing at somebody else. At the end, you realize that you're laughing at yourself, that you are the mocked one. You are the target. זה החידוש.
That's heavy. It's
Yeah,
true.
נפלא, חידושים נפלאים from the Gaon this week, like every week. טוב, ברחמי שמיים. So we finished ט"ז, ט"ו ט"ז.
Beautiful. חזק רבי, thank you.
ברוך השם, בשורות טובות לכולנו יהי רצון.
Amen.
Amen. Amen.